The Tyger by William Blake. William Blake was an English poet, engraver, painter, and printmaker. He is widely known for his lyric poems, songs of innocence, and songs of experience. Though he was not largely recognized by his contemporaries due to his strange views and visions, now he is considered a seminal figure in the history of the poetry and visual arts of the Romantic Age. Being a radical Christian, he revered the Bible and wrote with religious connotations, but he was hostile to almost all forms of organized religion because he was influenced by the ideals and ambitions of the French and American revolutions. And so he went to church only 3 times in his life. When he was christened, when he married, and when he died. Some of his famous works also include The Marriage of Heaven and Hell, Jerusalem, and Milton. The Tyger is a poem published in 1794 as part of his Songs of Experience collection. It is one of Blake's most reinterpreted and arranged works. The poem is full of questions about the nature of God and creation, particularly whether the same God who created gentle beings like the lamb could also have made the fearsome tiger. Did he who made the lamb make thee? Through this poem, he presents the binary connection in life, such as good and evil, white and black, etc. It is powerfully depicted through the imagery of the lamb and the tiger. There is an intricate religious connotation presented in the image of the lamb, which symbolizes innocence and stands for Jesus, the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world, which reveals God's infinite love. On the contrary, the image of the tiger represents the wrath of God in the face of evil and sin. In presenting the mystery of God's creation through this poem, the poet also manifests the duality of human nature. The poem begins with the poet asking a fearsome tiger about who could be the divine being that created it. What immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? All the stanzas contain further questions so as to refine this first one. From where in the universe could the tiger's fiery eyes have come? And who would have dared to seize that fire and form it? What sort of shoulder to handle, or what art could have been employed to twist the sinews of the tiger's heart? There is a sense of wonder about how that horrible heart began to beat, and how its creator would have had the courage to continue the work of creation. Likening the creator to a blacksmith, he ponders about the anvil and the furnace that the work of creation would have required, and the smith who could have wielded them. And when the job was finally accomplished, the speaker is left to wonder how the creator would have felt. Did he smile his work to see? Could the creator of the tiger possibly be the same divine being who made the lamb? The poem ends with the same question asked in the first stanza, but with the change from good to dare, representing the binary connection of the gentle lamb and the fearsome tiger, through which the poet brings out the duality of human nature. This dual nature is highlighted in the subtitle of Songs of Innocence and Experience, showing the two contrary states of the human soul. The poem is composed of 6 quatrains, 4 lines each, in rhymed couplets. The meter is regular and rhythmic, with each hammering beat suggestive of the smithy, the creator compared to a blacksmith, which is the central image of the poem. The structure of the poem is simple and proportionate, and all the questions in the stanzas contribute to the articulation of the central idea of the poem, which is the presentation of the duality of human nature through the imagery of the gentle lamb and the fearsome tiger. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burned the fire of thine eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? And what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart? And when thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? What the hammer, what the chain? In what furnace was thy brain? What the anvil and what dread grasp? There its deadly terrors clasp. When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the land make thee? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? William Blake builds on the conventional idea that nature must contain a reflection of its creator, like in a work of art. The tiger is an animal which is strikingly beautiful in its appearance, but also horrific in its capacity for violence. The poet reflects on the nature of the creator and on the question of good and evil. What kind of a god would create a terrifying beast as the tiger? In simple words, what does the undeniable existence of evil and violence in the world tell us about the nature of God as the creator? Can a good God create evil? What does it mean to live in a world where goodness and evil reside in the same one being, just as beauty and horror dwell in Tyger? The poet is looking at the creation through the eyes of spirituality and religion, and this poem is his attempt to present the duality of human nature, a duality between aesthetic beauty and primal ferocity. As the poem opens, the tiger is presented as a strikingly sensuous image. However, as it progresses, it becomes symbolic for an investigation into the presence of evil in the world. Blake applies the traditional image of smithy to represent artistic creation and draws the image of the divine creation of the natural world. From the first description of the tiger, the imagery of fire is used with its simultaneous connotations of creation, purification, and destruction. The image of the tiger burning bright with the fire of the creature's eyes, and fashioning the tiger out of pure fire, as if the creator had reached his hand into the fire and molded the creature from it. The image is drawn from the flame-like appearance of the tiger's stripes. Therefore, according to the poet, it must have been a god who played with fire who made the tiger. The employment of shoulder and art in the creation of not just the body but also the heart of the tiger justifies the use of the word there to replace could of the first stanza, because it connotes only the possibility suggested in could, and the final willful aspiration or dare to perform such a creative act. The reference to the lamb brings to the mind of the reader that the tiger and the lamb have been created by the same God. This raises questions about the implications, a contrast between the perspectives of experience and innocence represented in the poems The Tiger and the Lamb. Just as the lamb presents the image of a child's innocent faith in a benevolent universe, the tiger paints the complexity of good and evil in the creation and utters the unanswered questions on the unexplainable and undeniable existence of evil. In the poem, Blake shows the struggle of humanity, which is based on the concept of contrary nature of things, and thus to achieve truth, one must see the contraries in innocence and experience. According to him, experience is not the face of evil, but rather another facet of what the creation is made of. And rather than battling between good and evil, or heaven and hell, an individual must first see and then resolve the contraries of existence and life. However, many Christian believers still ask, if God is all-loving, why did He make such a fearsome and dangerous animal? And Blake himself asks, did He who made the lamb make thee? In simpler words, did God make the gentle and meek animals, and also the destructive and ferocious ones? This is a rhetorical question, and the real question behind the question is, why? We can see the duality between the lamb and the tiger as being specifically about the two versions of God in Christianity: the vengeful and punitive God, Yahweh, in the Old Testament, and the meek and forgiving God presented in the New Testament. The symbolic image of the lamb is easily understood with reference to Jesus Christ, the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world. But the tiger is not a biblical animal, yet it embodies the violent retribution and awesome might of Yahweh in the Old Testament. The significance of fire in the poem can also be understood with reference to the Greek myth of Prometheus, the deity who stole fire from the gods and gave it to mankind. From that daring act of transgression, humanity developed and progressed. With the possession of fire, the human being was free and had the divine spark. The line in the poem, "What the hand there sees the fire," alludes to the figure of Prometheus seizing fire from the gods and giving it to man. This seems to be the most satisfactory explanation as to why the tiger embodies this transgressive yet divine spirit. And just as the work of art contains something of the artist, the creation too contains some attributes of the creator. And here are the sample questions.